the Stacking Bales podcast, empowering farmer, trucking entrepreneurs, and small business owners with your host, Jesse Bounds, an authority on the open road of business and founder of 10-4 Coaching.
So we just wrapped up the first Pacific Northwest BizCon event in Culver, Oregon at my house. It was September 21st of 24. So Jeff joined the coaching group last winter, and this was the first time out to Oregon.
Yep.
And what did you think?
Well, so first of all, it's overwhelming, to be quite honest, at some point, because first of all, last time I was in Oregon, I was 22 years old, drove through here in the middle of the night. Everybody's like, oh, you've been to Oregon before, what'd you see? Well, nothing but taillights. So it was awesome for me to get to see the country, to meet the people. Yeah. Excellent event.
What's crazy is a lot of people don't realize that we have events we have a lot of people that come from, they're not really locals. I mean, we had, I would say 20 to 30%, if the most. Actually, there's maybe 10% might have been from Central Oregon at the most. So within like 30, 40 miles. Everybody else was from Texas, Idaho, Missouri, Pennsylvania. I saw some New York, California, so Northern California, all the way to Southern California. Guys drove from Sacramento all night long to get up here, and then left last night and drove all the way home. So it's not local people.
Ontario, Canada,
yeah. It's
right.
So guys, this is, it's been really cool to see like a group of people that, and it's just not ag. I mean, there's truckers that drove. I mean, Kendall Mass came all the way from Missouri, right? And they drove they drove out here, and some of the loads they were supposed to haul fell through, and they came anyways, and they got back hauls out of here. They helped us move the equipment. So we had the Sturmont guys here from Spain.
Yep.
So we have one of the brand new John Deere balers, which I was just checking out, and it's got the brand new Sturmont rake, which had never been on it. That's what I was out there looking at. And the Spain guys actually here measuring all the measurements, because they've got to do driveline modifications, and it's crazy. It has its own tongue. So typically the rate goes on the factory tongue, but with this one, they had to build. Did you talk to them about it?
No, but I noticed it last night.
Yeah, that it's got its own tongue. So it was cool to see. They came from Spain.
Yeah. So what did I think? So first of all, like you mentioned, there is such a diverse group of people. And what I really appreciated about it is that everybody's here for the same reason. Basically the same reason. They want to do better. Some people, I'm going to put myself in a category where there's a lot of stuff that I heard that I kind of work with to some degree already, but I wanted to network with people, get that energy again, because you can get excited over a phone call, but when you're here and you can feel the music and you can feel, as we talked about, you can feel the people's frequencies go up. Everybody's level of engagement. We're all here for the same purpose, and it wasn't like you're at an event where there's just people that show up to take the weekend off.
You mean a trade show?
A trade show or something like that, right? A free trade show is one thing. When you come to an event where you have your time and money invested and you are serious about doing something for yourself, it just gives you a whole nother environment of people. And I'm in the ag business. Like you said, there were truck drivers, dairymen, hay producers, people from probably the logging industry, construction. You had Victor's here from the HVAC industry. We just saw Victor again here this morning chatting about business, not HVAC.
When we were talking about people, I was talking about there was someone here that there's several people here that realized they needed to go home and fire, not just employees, but vendors, right? And that was one of the takeaways we were talking about. We were talking about people and disc assessments. And
yes,
when I went to one of my first business events, we did disc assessments, and I'd never worked for corporate or anyone, so I didn't know what it was. Michelle was laughing. She's like, "Oh, I can't wait to see what yours is," right? And it's funny because it tells you who you are. And for a lot of people, some people are like, "No, that's not me," or it's a wake-up call for some people, right? And so I was asking Victor, like, "Hey, what company do you use?" It's something that I want to talk about in the 10-4 group that probably 99.9% of the people in that group have never heard of a disc assessment, never seen one, or their employees have never had them. And that's what comes out of these events is like, you know, we're just sitting down there bullshitting, looking at a baler in a truck, and then I start just asking questions how people thought about the event, and then Victor walks up, and he's like, oh yeah, we do that in all my HVAC companies, everybody, and this is the company that we use, right? So it's just, you know, that's what you get out of these, and
you have such varying levels of experience in all sorts of industries, business, relationships. All of that, I think, is a great thing too, because you have people that are here, Jesse, that they didn't know if they wanted to continue to be in the business that they're in. And if I'm going to stay in my business, how do I identify the places to change, pivot, make differences, fire people, hire people?
Yeah.
This whole thing about a personality assessment or these DISC assessments is tremendous because, for example, if you or I had an employee that maybe you're not getting what you think you need out of them, but it's not that they are bad people, it's their personality is so much different than you and I. And to understand that personality trait so that you can identify it and understand how to work with it, because they might just be in the wrong seat. They need to find a different position within your company that they will excel at because they're not built for the need that they were maybe hired for up front.
No, and like I'm full driver basically. Like, I'm not all driver, but like I've got a lot of driver in me, and so if people understand what that means and they can tell when you're in full driver mode, let's get the fuck out of the way. Because it's not them, right?
No.
You are tunnel vision focused to getting something done.
Yes.
And you're going to do whatever it takes to get it done. Anything in the way, it's not a personal thing. But when you're in driver mode, you're going to get it done.
So I'm one of these people that, and my wife tells me this all the time, I'm one of those people that I like to do stuff, and then for some reason I feed off the affirmation. So I find that I love to help people, I love to do stuff, but I also, for some reason, kind of like that little pat on the back.
Oh yeah.
And I'm a people guy.
So you like the words of affirmation?
I
good job, Jeff, right? That's what drives you. Yeah.
And it don't even need to say good job, but you can just feel the vibe or whatever.
Right.
And there's some gratification in that for me, and I'm a peacock. I love to be in front of people doing stuff. So when we're talking about doing a podcast interview and a video, 90% of the people that were here yesterday would have shuddered and went, oh, I can't do that.
No, people can't do this, guys. So one of the biggest challenges I've had, and I haven't pushed my podcast out yet. I've got about 10 episodes banked. Because when I've asked people to come in, then they get in front of the camera like this, and they're like, holy shit. Like, they don't want to open up, they don't want to share, and then you start having this conversation, you start asking questions. Even yesterday for me, I was scared shitless with Brad. I couldn't talk. It's like you're fucking starstruck, right? It's like, here I am in front of 100 and some people.
Yes.
We don't know each other. He doesn't know what to ask. I don't know what to ask. He just came here to talking about cows and sheep and shit, and he doesn't even know. And it was really awkward, right?
Yes.
And I'm sure that when, if me and Brad can do a podcast together, it'll probably be a lot more natural. He'll be in his element.
Yes.
I'll be prepared. He'll do a little research on me, right? So, and it's just, most of these people, if we would have asked them to come in here, it was funny. I think it was Ron was telling me last night that there was a couple of people that was like, hey, don't record me. Like, get the camera out of my face.
Oh, sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Some people just don't want to be on camera.
Period.
Just like, they're just like not into it. So, it takes a little bit of time. And we talked about that where, getting in front of, like Buck talked about it, Buck Wise guys, talked about, marketing and using the camera, right? And people don't have that confidence, I would say, is the number one. They're scared to turn the phone around.
And I think they mentioned it yesterday. I kind of figured it out myself through trial and error that when I started doing social media pieces or interviews, whatever it might have been, I started social media pretty heavy in 2015.
Oh, wow.
And I thought I had to have everything scripted.
You're almost an OG.
I'm almost an OG. Yeah, I've got some stuff.
From 15.
From 2015, if you're
What platform did you start on?
Actually, it was a lot of Twitter.
Really?
At that
you
point.
still do Twitter or what, X now?
X is probably not on my radar screen, number one.
Do you do it all? Do you do it?
I do some, but I don't know why I gravitated away from it.
Well, I've never even had one. I've never had Twitter or X.
But I feel like I get, for what I feel I want out of what I post or why I post, I get a lot more traction and information, feedback from the Facebook side of things. For some reason today is really good.
And then what's your second one, TikTok?
Second one, actually probably YouTube.
Okay.
Because I create some more long form type content that's stored video content. So if I'm going to do a 30-minute discussion about how to properly scout an alfalfa field that I want people to use as a learning tool, I store that stuff on YouTube because I can store bigger content there and they can get access to it. Or I'll record something on YouTube and try to share in the other platforms
into Facebook. So, and you do. I see that you do that with like Facebook groups, especially too, right?
I try to cross-link all that stuff. Now, what I find is a problem is if you do that, then you might have somebody that doesn't have a YouTube account. They don't have the app on their phone or TikTok. If you take a TikTok video and throw it into Facebook, unless you save the video and upload it the other way, then people are like, well, yeah, I would have watched it, but I don't have TikTok on my phone, right? Forbidden my family to use it or whatever.
Sometimes if you download it make it in TikTok, download it, and then repost it to Facebook, sometimes with the watermark of TikTok, it used to drag the algorithm down. I've actually had some of those videos go viral, which is weird.
Yes.
So it's guys, I don't think anybody has it figured out. But then you do, they turn the old dial and change the algorithm, right?
And so it's weird because we were talking about creating content, and my point where we were going was that everybody thinks they have to know what they're talking about or they're going to fail, and then they have paralysis by analysis. Well, what if I start recording this thing and I look stupid?
Did we have a plan for this?
Absolutely not.
No, we literally walk in. I set this camera up. I'm hoping it's on record. We have our I haven't even used these since I got them. I went and got the lights that Seth and Craig, these professional Hollywood guys, were like the last ones that used them here. I walk in, I'm like, I slid this in here this morning from outside.
Perfect.
Michelle's like, where are you going to do it at? And I'm like, shit, I think the bar room, but I think I need to get some lighting, and I have some out there, so I'll put those up. And I'm leveling the tripod. I'm like, I hope that SAG got a video card in it, like we just talked about. You recorded a whole wedding or something?
Yeah, I recorded a whole wedding for somebody.
Yeah, hopefully the card's not full, right? It's recording right now, it looks like. So, we hope that we even get this. But it's like, then Jeff's like, well, let's sit down and talk. What do you want to talk about? Shit, let's just talk about what happened yesterday.
But I think, part of what we talked about yesterday too was be authentic. If you have a scripted speech that you think everybody needs to hear this, it feels like it as well.
I didn't have one, and I really was not. I was struggling.
That's maybe just a little bit different, but for guys doing these social media marketing pieces.
Yes, for social media marketing, you guys just need to go out and just show what you're doing.
It is, absolutely.
It's just showing it's literally don't even act like it's there. A little bit real quick, when we're talking about YouTube, long form content. So what you guys want to do is if you're doing YouTube long form like Jeff's talking about, you guys want to go horizontal. Okay, and then for short form like reels, vertical is this way, and a short guys is 60 seconds or under. So you'll post Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, vertical. Okay, like this. Now the challenging part is when you're trying to shoot content for both. What's that? We've talked about on the calls. We got that DJI Osmo. Is it called the Osmo? I'm going to say it wrong, guys. The Osmo or something, and it's it's like the selfie. It looks like a little selfie stick, and you can turn it vertical and horizontal. It's about $1,000 off Amazon, and it's DJI, so it's got its own mic. And here's the deal with that thing: is it picks up the background noise of the equipment. The problem when you're using these, you're not getting all of that, okay? Or when you're using a camera, it's professionally mic'd up. That thing gets just enough of that background noise. And what we have found with the trucks and the equipment, that drives the algorithm.
It helps somehow.
My most viral videos are literally me. I have one right now, Jeff, that's on my... Okay, you might have... it was behind my hay barn. was when I had all this straw stacked in the field, and I stood there and I was like, the barn's full, and there's all that over there. That thing's fucking going viral right now.
Oh, geez. Yes.
It's just in it. There's no production. There's no hashtags. It's a vertical, and I'm like going like this, and it just boom.
But I tell you what, the other thing I think too about scripted, I'm going to say this, the scripted piece where you feel too formal. There's people pay less attention to it if it feels too formal, but if you're just like jacking around and you got something interesting that pops up, and that's another thing. They're like, what the hell is he doing now? Let's see what's going on. Versus, oh, that feels like a sales pitch.
I went up, I went up top, guys, this morning. I shot a video. I literally was on the balcony. I put it in my story.
Yep.
So then I put it, I walked up on the balcony. Did you see it?
I just commented on it.
Okay, yeah. So it's got 6 comments, 659 plays, no hashtags. I did tag the location. And I've got, so the comments, someone needed their John Deere baler back. I don't know what that's about. But yeah, Jeff, John, everybody's been boom, boom, boom. Guys that wanted to be here commenting on it, and this thing will probably get, a couple thousand views, right?
Exactly.
And so it's like every single person is just, dude, it's unreal. Like the event, I have never seen, guys, I've had events, I think 6 events here. Mm-hmm. So we did we did our first mastermind last October. We did a finance boot camp. We did a bookkeeping workshop. We did a leadership event with Adam. I did another mastermind. So this is the 6th event in a year. And this was like out of control. Like I have never seen so many tags, shares. Even Brad shared, posted shit. And to get I was like, to get him and those guys, because they're going to events just 1 to 2 a day, right? And I was like, this was such a cool spot.
And I think that's the part too, is the atmosphere. When you're outside, you have beautiful weather, you got the mountains in the background, little breeze blowing across your face, maybe some sweat.
Well, some sun. We're gonna have suntan lotion next time because everybody's burned as shit.
I'll send you the bill for the skin graft next week. That'll be fine.
So, but what's crazy is everyone's like, what was I gonna say? Gary says, hey, and shout out to Gary Langford. I'm gonna say it wrong, Gary. Lankford, I believe. Facebook, Instagram. Gary's on there, guys. I think it's FHO Events. He's who put on the events. He's in 10-4 Coaching's Facebook group. Look him up if you guys are wanting to put an event on. Dude, best crew or better.
Good.
My biggest concern was the stage, and I met him through Victor, guys. So the way this works, I met Victor last year through Sean. Yep. Okay, how I meet Sean with Andy Evans. Okay, so I got into Andy's a couple years ago. Sean's there. Sean cold DMs me. I hire Sean for personal development, mindset, fitness. I did a one-on-one coaching with him.
Yep.
And he says, "Why don't you start a Zoom call?" Did my first call in here last August and thought no one was going to get on. I tried to get Sean to get on my first call. That's right. And he goes, "Fuck no, you're doing it on your own."
Yeah. You need a babysitter. Just lock it up and do it.
And I was like this. I remember I was sitting right in here. I did it. Literally did it right here. Michelle's over there on the couch, and she's like, we left here, walked down the road, down to the driveway to the cows, and I told her no one's going to fucking get on next week. That was horrible. No one's going to get on. No one's going to get on. No one's going to get on. And next week, there's a few more people. And I was like, holy shit. And every time I did an event, the first event was the same way. So we did the event. We started the coaching call in August. Yep. We did the first event. Our first mastermind was Sean, Victor, Jeff, and Casey Liddell. So any of you guys know Casey from Liddell, Cascade. He's a Cascade
heavy hauling or
recovery. So Casey's got a big YouTube channel. Met him through social media, right? He just DM'd me, showed up to my place. He's got a couple of YouTube videos. Go check him out. Me and him did 3 or 4. I think we've done 4 or 5 YouTube videos. So Casey was here. He spoke, but I met Casey through social media. All of my networking has been through social media or in-person events.
Well, I can't tell you how many people in the last 2.5 days have asked me. So, what's your involvement here? How did you find out about this? Why are you here?
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like people here?
Yeah, people
oh,
here.
Okay, got
They're just inquisitive about
Yeah.
it. They have their own story, but they're like, how did you find this? What engaged you? And I think what it was, maybe for me, is I was one day sitting on Facebook and I was just searching everything hay. Because that's what I do. I'm in the hay business, right?
So you were searching in the search.
I went the search thing and put hay. And everything that had something related to hay that kind of intrigued me, I'm like, follow, like, because I wanted the content. First of all, you see neat stuff. You learn things. It's not all about blondes and tight shorts walking down the street. I mean, you can actually use it as a tool, right?
Yeah,
so it's not about just entertainment.
No, it's a tool.
Hey, Jesse Bounds, that's a neat freaking truck. Watch a couple videos and you go, boop, like, follow. Then you did an interview with John Paul Driver from Hay Kings. And I watched that and I'm like, oh shit. Then pretty soon I'm getting the content flowing in, and then there's
the algorithm is all fucked
this
up.
10-4 coaching thing pops up, and I'm like, that's interesting. So then I think I DM'd you on Messenger and said, hey, I'd like a free pass to try it out. The cost is okay, I'll pay. So I joined the 6-month program. I'm like, shit, I've wasted $500 the worst ways last week. What the hell?
Yeah.
I give this a try. You see the content you like, some different stuff. You're in the hay business. I love hay. Sean was on. I'm one of these guys I'm not a fitness buff by any means, but I like to be active and do things. And he's talking about mindset and be better and elevate yourself and go get your ass out there and work, you pussy. Don't make excuses. And I'm like, I love that. So it just different content that you had on there just kept me engaged. Then pretty soon I rolled it into a year contract, and then I'm like, oh heck, I'm coming out to this event. Can I be a sponsor and have a table and meet people? And here we are. So
yeah, it happens so fast. Like Jeff's saying, and one of the big takeaways here is investing in yourself and your business.
Absolutely.
Right? There's a lot of people they put, for my whole life, all I ever did was invest in equipment and trucks, right, and real estate and land and all this weird, nothing for me.
Yeah.
Brad was talking about Brad's in his mid-50s and he's like, I didn't start reading books till I was 45. I thought it was fucking stupid.
Right.
Who reads a book? That was for high school or middle school. At that, I didn't read anything in high school.
Yeah.
I was cheating off I was looking in the math, it was like every other page or whatever, or every other, you could get the answers, and I was, the Spanish girl, I'm like, hey, I can't read Spanish, what is that shit? I didn't want to read, I didn't want to go to school. My goal was to get the fuck out of there as fast as I could to get to the farm to work.
Get there.
Let's go. Yeah, because
I got stuff to do.
Yep, I was like, I went to work on a farm in high school, and so I loved to farm. I mean, that's just really what I like to do. My dad I grew up doing construction.
Yep.
And so when I got to work on the farm, I just loved driving tractors. And then oh shit, I'm 16, I can drive a semi-truck? This is awesome, right? So, a lot of the people here, that's what happens is it doesn't matter if it's logging, construction, any of those trades, we're really good at doing the work, right? We're really good at getting up and getting our hands dirty and getting out there.
Exactly.
Like Brad talked about, the firemen, all that, and all that's necessary, right? But even if you want to be a trucker with one truck, right? That's your goal. Nothing wrong with that. Are you healthy? Right?
Yes.
Do you even understand what a macro is? I didn't. Do you even understand how much protein? Who teaches you in school that you should eat your body weight of protein? Did they teach that in health class? Fuck no, they didn't teach that. They give you textbooks as a bullshit and some fat ass standing up there.
There's this triangle. Follow
It's dumb. It's retarded.
Yeah.
Somebody could get more out of a $97 general admission ticket to this. A kid coming here would have got more out of this than he's going to ever get anything else.
It's crazy. I would agree that.
Like
it doesn't. So here we are. We talked about the ag and the truck thing. That's what we do. But literally, people, I'm saying too, you could be a pharmaceutical person, you could be a dentist, a doctor.
There was people here from real estate. There was people here from there was a roofing guy here.
Right.
There was it wasn't just ag or trucking, and that's but ICE, a lady that she's been to 2 events here, and she brought her. So she came to the bookkeeping workshop. They sell ice, frozen ice. Okay, so she comes and I'm like, frozen ice. I'm like, there's no other farming connected. She's like, nope. Bought this business, know nothing about it. Comes to the bookkeeping workshop. Her husband, she brings him this time. Was talking to him last night. Loved it. She's like, I need to come back to more finance stuff. And I was like, well, we kind of talked about, Jeff's presentation was like 30 minutes, guys, on finance, which you need 2 days to try to even get started in finance for that type of presentation. And she's like, no, I am glad that I got, for me, she goes, it's been almost a year. It was that refresher because I only got 10% started like last year, right?
Right.
So it was a reminder for me. And when he's talking about all that stuff, she's like, oh my God, I forgot about all that
Well,
stuff.
that's just it. You can't eat the elephant all in one bite.
No.
You got to take pieces off of it and implement things, and then grab the next piece and implement it and get it right, and then keep adding to it. But I think
so. When we first walked in here,
Yeah.
I said we got to stop talking because all the good shit that comes out
Yeah.
when you first start. You were telling me this morning you were sitting. So you stayed, guys, up at the bunkhouse in Madras.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna fly in here and come to one of the events, you fly into Redmond or Portland. I say Redmond, unless your flights are going to Portland. The bunkhouse is a badass, brand new.
Oh.
I've never stayed there,
it's
but
gorgeous.
gorgeous hotel in Madras. If it's full, the owners own the Cross Keys next to it. They're beautiful hotels. So you were there having breakfast, right?
Yep.
And obviously there's a lot of people staying there.
Yeah.
So just tell me about what you were going to tell me this morning. And I was like, no, we gotta wait till the camera goes.
So it's one of those neat moments where you get to just visit with people. They've been through the event. They've had a few minutes to think, and we won't name drop anybody, but there was a couple that was here together, and when they watch the video, they'll know who it is.
Yeah.
But it was interesting because they're into a couple of different pieces. They are in agriculture. And this morning we sat down. How you doing? Great. What'd you think of the event? Oh, I had a blast. I'm glad I got to meet you. All the pleasantries. And then we just started talking about what the takeaways were. And they're like, one of the biggest comments that we heard last night that stuck with us, that we literally discussed on that 14-minute drive from here going home and walking up the parking lot was, sometimes you have to fire people to make your life better or your business better. And if you have something or someone in your atmosphere, and again, going back to some of the discussion, he's like, yeah, I have a person in my life that actually we rent some land from that it's kind of getting to be a little bit of a toxic piece.
Difficult, isn't it?
And they're like, you know what, I don't need that bad energy. I can feel my energy come down, and I don't like to feel that way. We've got some different opportunities. Maybe we'll make a change in life. They're literally starting to put the plan together last night, and they hadn't even slept on it yet. And so it's just amazing to hear people that they are like.
And I think that's why I like to continue to go to events. So guys, I do my own, but I need to get outside of my own little ecosystem and go to events and hear different things, because all it takes is one thing. At each event, you're in a different stage in your life. Yep. So you might go to an event and you might hear someone like Sean talk about mindset and fitness. You might be crushing a business, but you're doing really shitty in your health. And you're like, that's the motivating piece. And then you crush like Mark. Mark, when he came to the first event, right? The fitness thing. And he stopped drinking. He hasn't drank in like a year. Yeah. He's doing triathlons, Spartan races, right? He's all in. That was the first thing he needed to change, was his mindset, his health fitness. Yes, he needs to work on his finances and all these other things that we talk about, but that was the first thing. For me, my first event, I'd already fixed my finance problems. Yeah. At that time, I mean, in ag, we make money, lose money, make money, lose money. So you're going to always have that cycle. Like Brad said, there goes, how was last year? Shitty, I lost $600,000 probably. Yeah. Right? It's like that's farming, like it's like a dairy. Yep. Those industries, that's how they work. And we were talking about that last night. Guys like, dude, I'm broke. Like, my line of credit stacked. I got hay stacked. I'm like, dude, I've been there. Yep, need a line increase. Well, what do? You fucking hope you sell it and don't. I mean, that's ag. And so a lot of people just don't they don't even get to have that connection, like that conversation, like that seed got planted, and then they'll start asking like other people, like, hey, you know, was this, you know, they want like almost reassurance, and I'm like, you know, it's still you're taking it away, and at the end of the day, you got to make that decision.
No,
right?
absolutely.
But they get at least like at the VIP last night. What they get to do is they get that thought, right? They're thinking about it, and then in the evening time, now they can go. They can get other opinions, right, from other people. They can talk about that scenario. And the cool thing is, like, I'm really excited about this next week's call because we're going to be able to have some really good conversations about people's takeaways, what they want to work on, right? So, guys, that's what's cool about the group is that when you come to it in person, like Jeff's talking, the calls are great. Yeah. But being in person and then getting to meet people, have that connection, then have that continued conversation next week, the week after. How did it work out, right?
Yes.
So you go home, so they have a thought, they go home, let's say they make the change, then they're going to tell you the result.
No,
Did it benefit their life? So sometimes you got to fire landlords, sometimes you have to fire employees, sometimes you have to, but you're opening up our opportunities for maybe better landlords, maybe employees that were better, because what happens is that one person can be holding down the rest of the team, the rest of the group, right?
Yes.
And not allowing other people to grow.
So we could probably make a list longer than what this whiteboard beside us can handle of the benefits that were here yesterday. And I think too, it's amazing for me how much of the networking, I would be curious to see from a year ago, August, to a year ago, or let's say 13 months till yesterday, how many relationships, business transactions, partnerships, affiliations, brotherhood, I'm going to say this goofy, but it almost feels like to some degree, you have a group of people, you got your own little cult right here called 10-4.
It's kind of crazy.
And they would probably throw down and help each other fight out of a battle if they needed to. So,
well, I mean, we did run our fat asses down the lake.
Right.
We almost jumped in, and I was like, I don't want to get all wet and shit, you know, but we did. We took, you know, and I was like, last year we went to the end of the driveway, and I was like, fuck that. We're running to the lake this time. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But last year, we were, a lot of people weren't in that shape, right? Well, the difference is now, a lot of people are in a lot better shape. I mean, Tyler Janke, who came to the first event, he brought a guy, right? And he goes, I work out 6 days. Since I joined Sean's program, he goes, I work out 6 days a week. I can't get his ass half the time on the calls. He's still paying, but he's been busy to get on, watches the recordings when he can, right? So that's the cool thing, guys, is that we do record them. I mean,
I'm a habitual user of the recordings too, because I might be doing my own presentation at the same time.
And a lot of people in these groups are like, no, they need to show, this is what I hear. If they can't make it to the Zoom, here's the deal. I get it. I'm a little different. I get ag. I get trucking. A lot of people are East Coast. We do those things at 5 o'clock. If you're at a game, your kid's game,
absolutely.
I'm not going to make you feel bad for missing your kid's game to be on the fucking Zoom call. Go watch it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Like, you know, we really tried to create a program that would work for anybody, anywhere. I mean, the best that we could.
Well, I think for me too, Jesse, is the fact that there are times where the content gets, and I'm not going to say it's never not good, but there are times where it gets so good that I've went back and watched some of the same videos 3, 4, 5 times because, well, whether I need an inspiration or I want to pick up I'm like, I didn't write it down, but there was a nugget the other day. I need to go back and listen to what was discussed about, you know, whatever.
Something. Right.
But so, again, the Sean Crane thing, I mean, literally that first presentation that he did, I got done listening to that and I was like,
you're ready.
I was doing push-ups on the floor beside my desk before it was over, you know? And so just having the ability, thank you, for busy schedules to go back and still be able to participate, because literally it's about making everybody better. And I think that's what's so cool about your program is that you went through some struggles, you found some help, I'm going to say, right? Yeah. Through the coaching pieces that you have engaged with. But then you said, you know what, damn it, there's so many people out there in my world that need this too. I'm just going to do it.
Yeah, and they can't afford 10, 20, 30, 250,000.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
the first event I went to I met Jeff and Buck was $32,500 for 2 tickets.
And there's probably not one more person that was here last night that would.
You did not get the mindset. You didn't get the leadership aspect out of it. It was a great event. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that the people that were here couldn't afford that event.
They would never do it if that was the case.
And they would never do it, and they would never get the wide range that we gave them.
Absolutely.
Right? That's the deal. And, I mean, we had fucking great weather. Dude, like, we didn't get the 5 o'clock wind that we got the day before. Everybody's boots were blowing away. You know?
Yeah.
Like, we could... I actually... I deleted AccuWeather off my phone, like, 2 days before, because that fucking thing said it was going to rain.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, they're like, go look at the other ones. They're like, why do you even open that thing? And I don't know. I look at all of them, right? Because then I'm like, okay, I look at whatever one's favorable for me, right? And fucking
try to average your
works, right?
Yeah.
So then I saw that, and Michelle's like, no, like the one on my iPhone says this, and I'm like, I'm tired of this thing. I'm deleting it. Boop. And look at today. Dude, today's even nicer.
Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
So anyway, the event, folks, for those people that are even thinking about being interested in it,
we are inside the house here, so we did the event outside. You guys obviously see the pictures, the videos, and all that stuff. But what we do right now is we can only get about 35 people in this room.
Right.
Okay, guys. So what we do is we do the finance boot camp or bookkeeping workshops. We did a snowmobile mastermind last year. We didn't do the snowmobile park because we didn't think it was going to snow. We canceled the snowmobile park because I had to order all the snowmobiles and shit. There was no snow. Okay, cancel the day before the event. Snows a foot. We're sitting here doing this leadership. You guys drove from Canada down here and everything.
Yep.
And we look out and it's just a foot of snow. And I'm like,
well,
that's where it goes. But I told Adam after this, I was like, we're going to pick a day. Last year I picked the farm show weekends.
Oh, sure.
So when I go to put dates, I'm trying to lay a calendar out right now for our events, okay? If anybody sees this, I'm going to post this video pretty soon. If you guys see this and you know of another event that's planned at the same time, it's a big event, it clashes, you tell me, because there's nothing worse. There are so many events. I didn't realize that Farm Progress show,
What time of year was that? Farm Progress show.
That was in the spring, I believe. Well, no, it moves around. No, it's Commodity Classic.
Commodity Classic.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I picked one the same time as that.
Because it was in New Orleans one year.
Yep, and it moves around, right?
It
and I've never been to that stuff, so that stuff I want to start kind of going to some of that stuff, right? Because I didn't even know that existed. So what's crazy is when you start throwing events, you find out that yours a fucking event every time you want to throw every day, right?
So you kind of have to find a happy medium and go.
There's all these hay growers associations. You have the Washington Hay Growers Association. Then there was one in Idaho that I'm like, and to be honest, guys, most of you guys, if you watch this, if you're going to that, you guys don't come to my shit anyways. And you need to. Like, I go down to Culver to get, what did I say, fuel? And then Brad says it's called gas.
Yeah.
He's like, you can always tell a guy that's got a truck calls it fuel.
Yes.
So I go down there to get fuel because I got a truck. And these local farmers are down there on the back of their pickup. And they're like, there he goes back up to his house to his big event. And they're just down there and they don't got a P&L. They don't know how much money they made.
Right.
They are probably not taking care of themselves. And they've got this simple mindset that Brad talked about.
I'm just fine.
I'm just fine. I'm laying low down here. Daddy and Grandpa said those are other people over there, right? And it's like, shut up. Like, they just don't know.
So what's the definition of insanity? Continuing to do the same thing every day and expecting a different result. So folks,
no, it's not going to happen.
And I'm one of those guys too, Jesse. So I have a great job. I have a nice farm. I don't own a business, but I still gain so much from being here, from a personal development. But the company I do work with, I can take some of this strategy back and implement it there too. And then, so then I have.
Didn't you?
I guess I kind of.
Is it?
No, not really.
Isn't the farm a business?
No. Well, my farm it is, but I cash rent all the acres out.
But you run your income through your personal tax
account, just personal account.
Well, you heard what Casey said.
Yeah.
So guys, just real quick, I don't want to get, but
This is good.
But what we're talking about is Casey brought this up. Casey Toes, guys. His main business is his income comes through as a media company.
Absolutely. Because
there's more tax advantage write-offs, and his income is the reason why his main income is YouTube.
Yeah.
Guys, his main income isn't towing. He needs the towing for the content because he gets so much ad revenue from long-form YouTube content.
Yes.
Which is wild. Now, so if he needs to do what was he talking about the motorhome, right?
Yeah. He's towing his motorhome with the truck so he can write off the motorhome because it's a media expense.
Because he needs to make content.
Yep.
So the reason why he came to me in the middle of summer to make the first 2 videos was he was out of content.
Yeah.
There was nothing to tow.
Right.
His content creation is usually in the wintertime because he's towing snow and off-road recovery, and that's what he does.
Yep.
So he gets middle of like July and August, and it's like there's not some dumb guy might run off of a dirt road up here, right? But it's like it's not that great content.
Yep.
And like he did this, like he said, I went and did the circus one. He went and did the circus and videoed shit just because he needed content. So the other misconception we didn't have enough time to get into that is people think you need we're gonna do a whole entire I've decided I'm gonna do 2-day. Try to do if they're not. We've done 1-day full events, but I'd like to do a 2-day workshops where it's all marketing. It's like 1 day social media and 1 day is more like what Buck was talking. Like not that it's not social, but like when it comes down to like the social aspects, especially on YouTube.
Yeah.
We can spend like a couple hours on YouTube because it's not the followers. There's a local guy down here that was going to come here. He's in the Facebook groups. I've removed him since. I never do that. But he was being a complete arrogant fucking prick, talking mad shit about Casey, and I hope he fucking watches this, okay? He's an idiot because he doesn't know. He thinks he basically is like, he's a dumbass, doesn't know shit, he's a scam because he only has 300,000 followers. It is, and I'm like, right there, you're a moron because you don't know, you're being ignorant and an asshole.
Wow.
It's not the followers, so you're here talking crap about Casey.
It's not the followers, it's the clicks.
It's not that. It's and I'm like, that's the problem when you have that simple mindset, is that he doesn't know, so he's immediately going to talk negatively about someone else.
Right.
And it's like, you need to come learn how it really works before you start making judgment.
So
yesterday
morning, I at the bunkhouse down there grabbing a cup of coffee, walk in, I see this gigantic dude standing there grabbing breakfast, and I recognized him from being at the VIP the night before, and I'm like, hi, how you doing? Where are you from? Oh, just over the hill. What do you do? I'm a dairyman. Oh, no shit. Well, can I pick your brain for a minute? Because I'm a hay guy, right? So I'm thinking, network connection, alfalfa dairy, this is going to be cool. Started talking to him about his crops, and then he mentioned something about social media and Facebook. I go, oh, right, really? You got a Facebook page? Yeah. So it's a TDK. So Derek Josie. Never met him before, didn't recognize him from that TDF. I go pull him up. 1.1 million followers. Did you monetize that? Yeah, 6 figures. Yeah. Oh, what the hell? Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and I didn't, guys, Derek, I never met Derek, met him on Facebook. I know a lot of people in Tillamook. I used to all hate Tillamook 3 to 4 days a week. Knew a lot of the farmers, never met Derek. Obviously, followed him on social media. So I saw a shitload of followers. Once again, go look his page up. Full organic content,
absolutely.
Right? No hashtags, no editing, no team. Just whatever. I'm just feeding the cows, laying out the girls, doing his thing, right? And it's crazy because, like, you don't have to have crazy fancy content. He's just showing his daily thing. And, like, it was awesome. Here someone goes, how do you have time? And he goes, when the water's filling up, instead of you guys scrolling social, I'm making social.
Absolutely.
I'm videoing the water going in it. I'm posting. When I was down here with Javier, and he showed me the rake, even for me, guys, I forget to pull the phone out. You want to know why? Because a lot of people don't like to be videoed, and you have to get over that fact. And I'll be respectful if somebody gets out of the way. Obviously, they don't want to be in it. Right. If I back up and they're in it, then I know that they're willing to be in the video, and I'll go with them. I'm not going to be disrespectful about it. But I wanted to make a video of the new John Deere baler. And he worked in the coon. He worked in the coon factory for 5 years.
Oh, sure as heck. Yeah.
He said, I know these balers. I got 2 of them. right? So they're here measuring the specs, and I'm like, shit, we need to go down there. And I wish my camera guy was with me. That would have been a badass video of just what they were down there doing, and there's so much content.
Yeah.
So instead of me just having a conversation with them, I'm like, boom, take my phone out, let's video this stuff. It's people, they think that you need to like have this high production. Yeah, the fancy cameras are great and all that, but like this, what's good about like when you're doing a podcast like this, guys, with Sony, like these cameras, like this one, it records a long time. My phone, if I'm using my phone right now and someone's trying to call me, it's going to stop recording.
Well, and it does not require
in my memory.
It's not internet service right here.
No.
So where you're located, you get a couple bars of power here, and when you do your Zoom calls from here, it's like
always
damn internet.
No, we always have problems here.
So literally, this camera is perfect for this because it's hard recorded on that disc or the card, and you don't have interference.
We don't have to worry about it. Yeah,
it's perfect.
So no, the event was. I mean, we used a new catering company we've never used at a event. They nailed the food was on point. We didn't serve alcohol for the first time, which, guys, I'm all about having a drink once in a while at dinner here or there, vacation. Somebody might have drank one or two. They might have found something, but there was no one.
Right.
There was no cleanup. Everybody there was the cigars. Michelle had to, make sure everybody put their cigars out. Yeah. But, those damn smokers.
So that's what Bill made his comment this morning too. He goes, I went on trash detail and I really enjoyed not having to clean up everybody's beer cans.
No, like when we had weddings here, it was a shit show.
Right.
There was one time I was telling the boys when they were here picking up chairs this morning, I said, we had it was actually, I think, an FFA event or something one time, and everybody wanted to get drunk, so they had the local bar come up, and they serve, and they had those fucking little straws.
Oh.
A little orange one, a little green one. They're serving cocktails, and I bet there's still. I just started knowing those things.
Yeah, they're still.
There was goddamn straws out here. There was straws and cups, and I said, and then so when we did the weddings, I told any servers to come here, no straws, right? And so I weaned it down, right? And then I asked Michelle, do you think we should get a bartender? And she's like, every time we've had one for the 10-4 events, no one drinks. And because they're just here to talk, they're here to learn, they're here to communicate with people. And I
didn't want to have Sean staring at him going,
oh yeah, he had
you don't need that.
Nope, you don't need it. Knock it out of your hand. That was at Victor's event. There's a video on Sean's page where I had all they had was like Cliff Bars.
Yep.
And so I grabbed one and I was eating it. Sean turns the corner and Zinni's with him. He's of course got the camera guy the whole time. And Sean comes up and fucking whacks it out of my hand. Of course, Zinni catches the whole thing.
Yeah.
But guys, when it comes to like coaching or mentoring or events, the one thing that I'll tell you is that like I need help with fitness. That's my biggest struggles, right? I didn't understand nutrition, didn't understand any of that stuff. And what I talked about, I've said it several times in the calls and up here yesterday I did is like, I started with Sean and then my one-on-one time was like up, I guess. I just thought that I had it all figured out. Yeah. Not all figured out, but you know what I mean? I was like, I can do this, I'm running, I know what to do. And then he calls me just to check in, right? We became friends through all this. And helped me get the group started. He made me pick a date. It was like for our first event last year. And I was like, there's no way we're going to do it. There's no way we're going to do it. Like, what content we're going to do? He's like, just relax. It'll be fine. We'll just roll. Right. We had no structure. Like, it was I'll never forget that event. It was one of the best events we ever had. There's no way we could duplicate it just like this event.
Yeah.
It's not that they're all not good, but sometimes some of them it just hits right.
Yeah, right. It just feels
like wow, right? And so, anyways, he calls me last year about November, I think it was. He goes, you still running? Because I was thinner than I am now. I was thinner, and but I was like cutting, right?
Right, you were cutting.
I was cutting hard, running for our wedding and everything, and so now I'm trying to bulk up and put the muscle on. And so he goes, last year, are you still running? Like, I want to start bulking up and stuff. He's like, why are you not running? I'm like, it's raining and shit out, And he's like, you're being a fucking pussy. You're being a pussy, aren't you? You don't understand. You live in Santa Barbara. It's nice and warm down there, right? Yeah. So it's nice weather. And so he's like, you live by Eugene, right? I'm like, yeah. This guy called Cameron Haynes, I'm pretty sure lives by you. And I'm like, yeah, that guy, yeah. Yeah, he goes, well, I'm pretty fucking sure he's about mid-50s. He's running every day. Rain or shine, snow, carrying a fucking rock, right? He goes, pussy, aren't you? And I go, yeah. And I started running in the rain. And guys, like, I actually look forward to running in the rain this winter, which is crazy. You know, what it is, part of it is people look at you like you're fucking nuts when you're running in the rain. And there's just something about that sometimes drives you. I was listening to a deal where someone had David Goggins speak at his event. He said he was going back to the hotel to drop him off, and he stopped the car and said, it was like the middle of the night, and he's like, I haven't ran enough today. It was 14 miles back to his hotel, right? And I'm like, that's just crazy shit. But once you get into that mindset, and you know, Mark was talking about 75 hard, and he's like, you need to do it. I've never done it. And he's like, when you do it, you're a different person. You know, getting that mindset shift. And you know, even doing the events, like I feel like I suck at public speaking. I'm not good at, you know, I get nervous like anybody would, and you know, the calls have helped. But what I realize is like I need to do more of these small. I mean, doing these help me, and I'm going to go speak with Victor this winter in Kansas. It's at a corn harvesters convention.
Really? Custom harvesters convention?
Yeah, I'm speaking. Me and Victor are going to speak.
No way.
Are you going to be there?
Well, I'm going to have to
now. I think it's in January or February.
Right. Custom harvesters.
The custom harvesters. Yeah, we're going to speak about finance.
Oh, yeah, bunch of chopper guys.
Yep, a bunch of chopper guys.
Absolutely.
And then there's 1,000 members.
That's perfect.
Oh,
yeah, it's a big
So once again, it's social media. One of the guys follows me, saw it, luckily he knows it runs it. They messaged me and said, is there anybody else that you wanted to bring out with you that helps you do? I said, well, I think Victor would be great because they can have that different perspective. That's why I have Victor come. And he loves lighting up farmers, right? So, you know,
but he's a hay king now because he was in your barn this week.
Oh yeah, always running the squeeze, right? Buck was in the tractor. Did you see this?
Is that right?
I haven't posted. Yeah, Buck went and drove the John Deere out to the field.
Good.
During the event, he had to get content before he left. But yeah, it's just these, and I just look at them like, shit, I'm gonna go meet a whole bunch of different, like I'm gonna go meet a whole group of people.
Yep.
And if I wouldn't have done social, if I wouldn't have done this, I wouldn't have met any of these people. Like crazy to think that I was telling Michelle, I met Brad, like me and John Block met Brad at one of our first events in Miami.
Right.
I think it was 3 years ago, guys. I get time mixed up. And now he was at our house.
Yes, he was here.
He was here. Right. I have a cell phone number. I literally remember Dean direct messaging him in here going, when should I post on Instagram? Because I went to the first event and he goes, you just need to post 3 times a day on all 5 platforms.
Yeah, you already missed your opportunity. Get to it.
Yeah, and so then I'm like, he didn't say what time, and so I'm thinking, well, and I messaged him, and he messaged me back, 8, 12, 5, that's all it said. So, start making content, 8, 12, 5. 3 times a day, all the platforms. And it worked. And what you guys gotta realize about content is, like, for me, I use LinkedIn. Like, a lot of people won't use LinkedIn, and they'll find success in LinkedIn, because for me, a lot of my customers are foreign. Yeah. And they don't have Facebook or Instagram in those countries, like China, maybe Taiwan, some of those different countries, whether they're banned or they're not allowed, or they just don't use them. Like in Korea and Japan, my customers use Instagram. Okay, my Japanese customers use LinkedIn. China customers use LinkedIn, not Facebook. Now I do know some Chinese people that do have Facebooks, but they're U.S. right from China. So you need to use all of them, and then of course YouTube, like we talked about. Right? It's powerful platform. So there's so much to this stuff, and we only got into it about 5%.
Oh yeah, but I think the great thing about it though is so you the format that you had, it's like these awesome 10,000 foot nuggets to get your brain engaged, and then you come back and ask the questions and say, okay, now I need to fine tune. So they'll come back for the finance boot camp and the bookkeeping workshop, and that's where they get the detail versus just getting engaged to, okay, now what's next?
And I think me and Ron have talked about this, and just so anybody that's in the group that watches this, or you know, what we've really seen now that we've done it for a year, is that we want to roll more towards, when we get a bigger space, more where it's like maybe more like a membership deal where you can just come to a certain amount a year, right, or whatever, right? So it's like, so you're not, it's you know, if you have employees, you know, you can send them, you know, something that's a little bit easier that, because some people are local and they might want to come to more, and some people might say, okay, I can come to one a year, and I only can afford this much a year.
Yep.
You know, like Kyle. Kyle's like, hey, I can come out. I'm going to come every year to one a year. I want to do the VIP. I want to do that.
Yep.
But I can only afford this much, and I can't pay once a year. I want to pay monthly, right? So
right.
we really try to. I mean, me and Ron are talking to him. We're talking to him about that. Like, no, we'll always have a monthly option for you guys to split it out.
Yeah.
But if there's guys that want to do a one-time a year pay or a business, big. Some of the big guys like, I just want to pay one time a year. If I can't do it, I'll send an employee.
I've got it for the budget to do it.
You know, it's $3,000, $5,000, whatever. They can do whatever they want, like something like that. So just so you guys know, like we're looking at changing that up. We'll always have a monthly option, but then you know, if it's easier for businesses to do it that way, especially because I got a lot of the guys. It's crazy. I've got a lot of them that are both brothers have their own accounts for 10.
Oh yeah, right.
And so I'm like, why don't we just do a bundle thing? You know what I mean?
Yes.
The farm can just
the farm can get subscription for so many
employees. So we're going to do some changes, but I think the other thing, Jeff, that I haven't talked to you about, then me and Carl from Bale Chaser were talking about. And I haven't been to all the fancy events. Remember, I've just been stuck over here in Oregon.
So that you've literally lived under one of these rocks out here for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been to Tulare. Oh yeah, I've been living under rocks. We'll watch the bar talk deal. That's what Torque and Sawyer talked about.
Yeah.
It was like my world got big real fast.
Right.
I met Andy and Brad and Cardone and all those guys. It was like, I didn't know I never worked for anybody. I never got to go corporate.
No, absolutely.
Even Michelle worked for corporate. I mean, she worked for her corporation, so she had been to a lot of networking events and this type of stuff. And so for me, it was like, at, 37 or whatever. It was like, holy shit,
eyes wide open,
whole new world.
So
me and Carl from Bale Chaser talking about. I said, hey, I got some bales down here. Let's run that thing. Let's hook that thing to a tractor and stack some bales. And he's like, it's a brand new machine, and all that. And we started talking. And I said, well, why don't we maybe in the springtime, let's run some stuff.
Do some demos.
Yeah.
Run some stuff.
I got 120 acres. We don't have enough water to keep it in alfalfa. I said, I can kind of plant whatever I want to plant down there. I said, we've got Dragon Line. I could get Monty to come out. We can run some Dragon Line from, Monty's from Kansas, that does the Dragon Line. I said we could do some demonstrations on Dragon Line. We could do some tillage stuff. We go down to the bottom 40 and leave that fallow, or the top 15 acres.
So you're talking about having a full field day.
A full field day.
Plus some training.
Maybe a couple days.
And some network.
Probably might need to be a couple days. We're thinking a May heyday. Now, May, I know everybody's going to say, we're busy. Guys, you're busy year-round almost. I've had a fucking solo mastermind, 10 guys showed up.
Yeah.
You weren't busy.
Yeah.
So what you're going to have to, prioritize some time.
It's a commitment.
I'm busy too. I've got a million things to do right now.
And here we are.
And yes, here we are. Exactly. And I know it's hard when you're Baylor. It is very challenging to get away. Right? But the other thing is that we try to pick the dates the best we can. If I go later here, everybody's hunting.
Oh, for this? Yeah.
If you get in hunting season, nobody's showing up.
Dude, archery season started September 1st. Why am I sitting here? I don't know. Yeah.
But it is hard to pick the dates. So you got I think I think a spring thing. It could be raining. We could get screwed.
Yeah.
That's a challenging part. But we could try to do. I think so. What I want to know, I guess, is from you guys, and I'll make a post about this. Is if we're going to do a field trial hay thing, we got to do it when we can do that. We got to do it when weather's decent. So we either got to do May or we got to do September. And what I need to know is from the group is, are we better to try to do September? Do you guys got to figure out how to leave the farm for a day or two?
Yep.
Or do we try to do May and the rest of the weather? That's where we're at. And so, because May is we can get good weather, but
yeah,
we wouldn't be able to run dry balers. I could probably try to get away doing some, if I plant some, the early May, we'd have to try to do middle of May, and I just have to cut something kind of early.
Or can you do a winter cereal?
A winter cereal.
Triticale or rye.
Just cut it a little
early.
Yeah.
Anyway,
this is real life.
We're
brainstorming.
We're just throwing shit at the whiteboard.
We're throwing shit
right now.
Yeah. But that's that's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Was it'd be kind of cool. And like I told him, I'll just bring a couple loads of straw over for the bale chase.
Oh yeah, just play around.
Just play around with it. We can stack and
Unload and reload.
We can have the Roadrunner here and we can unload it. Guys can, it'd be funner than shit, I think.
Well, literally, yeah, you could use the Roadrunner to unload a truck and then space them out.
And space
run
them
the
out.
muddler and
And
make a stack and
redo it,
So
right?
they could, yeah.
So what I was thinking is we could cut, we could ted, we could rake and bale.
Yes.
We could have tillage.
Oh my God.
We could have stacking. We could have, like Ed, we could have Roadrunners here. Then we could even have truck. We could even have Peterbilt here with trucks.
And then have a hay yard Olympics and have a contest on throwing straps and tarps and
whatever. Wanted to. Then we could have tarp. Yeah, I was trying to get Brandon to come from Sharp's Tarps because that's where I get my tarps. And I said, it's coming in the winter season. You should be here. All the truckers are going to need tarps, right? So then he could have a booth and he could show the tarps, and Western Trailer could be here, and they could have trailers. I mean, we got 120, 30, 40 acres here. We could just do a whole entire thing.
It would be pretty massive.
It'd be massive. It'd be fun. So
you have to build a hotel. Those 2 buildings couldn't hold all the people.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
It's they don't have enough rooms for everyone. I guess we could. There is the KOA down there. So everybody have to be dragging in their travel trailers.
I drove by that yesterday and I could tow a 43-foot tow hauler out here and just ATV spend the whole week.
Yeah, there's guys that stay at the KOA and up at the lake at Haystack. There's camping spots. Cool. So there's three camping spots, guys, up the road at Haystack, and then there is a KOA. So if you guys ever do come up here, you can bring your travel.
But in May and in September, make sure you bring a jacket and maybe some cold weather gear and a piece of firewood because it was 41 degrees this morning. By the way.
Yes. And sunscreen.
And sunscreen so you don't blister.
In Oregon, it can rain, snow, burn you.
All the same thing.
Yeah. So, well, I think the event was awesome. I think there was a ton of takeaways. And I guess everybody will just have to stay tuned to what's next.
Stay tuned. It's coming.